distribution from a lamp with the calibrated lux meter. So there are two activities in the laboratory. The first one is calibration of lux meter, and second one is the measurement of some parameter, which is horizontal intensity distribution. So intensity distribution is the measurable quantity, and it is in the horizontal plane. So that's why it is horizontal intensity distribution of a lamp with the calibrated lux meter. That is important here. So the purpose of the instrument is to the how to know what is the procedure of calibration of a lux meter, right? And the second one is how to measure, how to apply, how to use the calibrated lux meter to measure another parameter. So that is the uh, these are the two objectives of this experimentation. So now the brief theory. So let us begin with this small write-up that I have collected from internet. So what is calibration? So calibration is a process of comparing a reading on one piece of equipment or system with another piece of equipment that has been calibrated. So this another piece of equipment is already calibrated and reference to a known set of parameters. So reference to a known set of parameter means the parameter we are going to measure with the instrument. So calibration is a process of comparing a reading on one piece of equipment or system with another piece of equipment that has been calibrated and reference to a known set of parameters. So the equipment used as a reference should be itself be directly traceable to equipment that is calibrated according to this number. So here it says that during calibration we need to obtain reading of a test equipment that is to be calibrated and one working standard equipment that is already calibrated in the lab. That is already calibrated in the lab, right? So that equipment which is already calibrated, what we call the working standard lamp, that is we call working standard lamp, working standard equipment, sorry, working standard equipment. That equipment may be thermometer, that equipment may be ammeter, voltmeter. Here in this case, the equipment is lux meter. And I'm coming, what is meant by lux meter, what is measured by lux meter, that I will come a little bit later. So one is during the calibration, one equipment that is to be calibrated, we call it test equipment. Another equipment that is already calibrated by another lab, that is known as working standard equipment, right? Then under the same state, under this same test condition, the readings obtained by the test equipment and the working standard equipment are to be compared in the process of calibration, right? So why it is important? So calibration defines the accuracy and the quality of the measurement recorded using a piece of equipment. So unless any equipment is calibrated properly, the reading or the values obtained by the equipment cannot be taken as the correct value within some uh, uncertainty of measurement, right? It cannot be taken as correct value, right? So over the time, there is a tendency for results and accuracy to drift when using particular technologies or measuring particular parameters such as temperature, humidity. So by the process of calibration, it is possible to ascertain that the test equipment provides us the faithful value within some tolerance, within some uncertainty. And that uncertainty or the tolerance or the deviation is within acceptable limit. So the goal of calibration is to minimize any measurement uncertainty by ensuring the accuracy of the test equipment. Calibration quantifies and controls error or uncertainty within the measurement processes to an acceptable. That is important. Uncertainty, we can minimize it, that uncertainty. Error, we can minimize the error. But error, we cannot zero it. We cannot make it zero. But what we can do, we can reduce it within an acceptable level. So that is the common practice of actual measurement, right? In any actual measurement, for any test equipment, for any measuring anything, any parameter, there is some limitation in terms of range, limitation in terms of accuracy, right? But the declared accuracy, the values should confirm the declared accuracy, right? Say, for example, one measuring instrument gives us up to 3 decimal places value, right? Another instrument gives us up to 5 decimal places value. Another instrument can give us up to first decimal places value. So what is the difference? The difference is that the difference in terms of the measurement accuracy, right? But it is the necessity on which we need to decide which equipment we have to use it, right? It depends on the necessity, because higher accuracy measurement means the cost of the equipment is much higher. If I need up to 2 decimal places accuracy, why I can use an instrument which gives us up to 5 decimal places accuracy? Because there is cost is more, cost involvement is more, and in practical world, in the scientific and engineering domain, the application in practical world, the cost matters. Okay, any question up to this? What is calibration and why it is important? Any question? So after discussion on calibration of lux meter, what is the calibration and why it is necessary, then I'm going to show you what is lux meter, right? So let us have a look as a picture of a lux meter. This is the picture of a lux meter. With the digital lux meter, right? This is another picture, digital lux meter with analog output. So what is the difference between these two instruments? The difference is that let us have a look side by side. Let us have a look it side by side, right? Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So this is the digital lux meter, right? So this digital lux meter actually measures the incident. Lux meter is used to measure illuminance at a point. So what is illuminance? Illuminance is the incident luminous flux density per unit area. Incident luminous flux density per unit area. That is lux meter, right? Someone is coming, Rajkumar Kanwar. Yeah, see, this is going on. This is 1216, but this is going on. It's a very common thing. So incident luminous flux density per unit area. So it's supposed to measure the light. Luminous flux means light. So light sensor is there. This is the light sensor actually. This is the light sensor. This is the light sensor, right? So the white is the diffuser. So this unit is a light sensor, right? This unit is a light sensor. The entire cable is not shown here. Entire cable is not shown here, but here entire cable is shown. So this is the processor, and this is the display. The display shows the lux value. So light sensor are of different type. It may be photodiode. It may be photodiode. It may be photocell, right? It may be phototransistor. Usually, this kind of instrument it is photodiode actually. Yeah? PN diode, photodiode. So here battery power is required here. So when light is incident over the surface, so this portion, this unit, we call the sensor unit. The sensor unit is to be placed at a point where we are interested to measure the available light. Right? In cricket stadium, the umpire use the very pocket lux meter to measure the daylight level. Right? So whenever we are going to measure the light level at a point, at a plane, at a point, we have to use this instrument that is called light meter. Usually it is called light meter and the illuminance meter, but it is commonly called commercially it is known as light meter. And illuminance is the illuminance, the SI unit of illuminance is lux, that is 1 lumen per meter square. And the non-SI unit of illuminance is FC, foot candle, 1 lumen per foot square. So there is a conversion. Between the the 1 lux equal to 1 lumen per meter square, 1 FC equal to 1 lumen per foot square. And if we convert the foot square and meter square, you know the relation between this, then you will come up with this 1 FC equal to 10.76 lux, right? The symbol of writing lux is this, either this or this, right? So in practice, it is taken as 10 lux, right? So 1 FC is approximately taken as 10 lux, right? In US, the FC is the concept of FC. This FC, the unit is very popular. FC. They are not till now. They are not using the SI unit. They are following the non-SI unit. Like instead of liter, they are using gallon. Instead of kilogram or kilogram, they are using pound. Similarly, in case of the distance, they are using foot and not meter. But here, they are using FC, not lux, right? So the lux meter, there is a provision of getting value in terms of lux or in terms of FC, right? Here also, there is a selection switch. By this selection switch, you can select what is the value. Is it in lux or is it in FC? You can take it. So this is the sensor unit and a photosensor, photodiode, and over there are two types of filters. One is color corrected filter, other is cosine corrected filter. I think that you will learn in your illumination classes. The photodiode, and that is over the photodiode. The two filters are there. Two not filter. One is filter. One filter that we call color corrected filter. Right? What is the role of color corrected filter? Because the photodiode has got its own spectral response curve, right? So to convert this own spectral response curve into V lambda, right? You know V lambda? So one filter is necessary. That filter is color correction filter. Because any photodiode or photosensor which is supposed to measure light, the spectral response of that sensor should be identical with the V lambda. Lambda versus V lambda, you know it, it's photopeak spectral response curve. Photopeak spectral response curve. Spectral response of human eye. Human eye. Photopeak spectral response of human eye. So any light sensor which is supposed to measure light, the response, spectral response must be identical with V lambda. And the role of the color correction filter is to convert the spectral response curve of the photodiode or photocell into V lambda. So that is one filter is there. And another is we call the cosine corrected. COSINE, cosine correction is done by white diffuser. White diffuser. So this portion that is visible here is the white diffuser, okay? Is white. This is the diffuser actually, oval shape diffuser. The task of the oval shape diffuser is to minimize the error introduced by the incident of light of at higher angle of incidence, right? So these two things are what I call essential. These two things are essential for any photosensor which is supposed to measure light or illuminance, right? So lux meter, wherever you see the lux meter, you see this cosine corrected, this white diffuser. This is under this there is one color corrected filter. So what is the sequence? So above the, this is, if this is the cosine corrected filter, then below which this is the color correction filter. Yes, use a different, this is the color correction filter, right? And then there is one, the sensor unit, right? This, so if this is the sensor unit, light sensor photodiode, and this is the color correction filter, and above all, this is the cosine corrected attachment. And from the outside, we can see only this portion, the white diffuse portion, right? Now, wherever we are going to measure the light, we need to place it. And attention should be taken that there should be no obstruction of light reaching over the sensor. Because if there any obstruction in the path of the light coming to the sensor, then the value which is available through this measurement is not the actual value. Okay? So this is lux meter. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
So what procedure we need to follow this? So one optical bench we need to use. This is called the optical bench. This is at our lab. This is our picture at our lab. This is collected from website. This optical bench. So over the optical bench, we can place different types of optical mount. So this scale, you can see that this scale is graduated in centimeters so that you can measure the distance between the two optical mount. Say for example, from here you can get one reading, right? So, and from here you can get the reading. If you want to get the distance between the two, you just subtract this value from this value. If it is 0, if it is higher end, suppose 200 centimeter, then this is the increasing direction of the value. So just difference between the two gives you the difference between the distance between the two optical mount. And this kind of setup, that this picture I have taken from an internet. So over this optical bench, in this experimentation, one lamp is to be placed, and at a distance, one lux meter is to be placed. You see that one lux meter is placed here. So in the optical bench, in the actual experimental setup, At one end of the optical bench, the lamp, we place the lamp, and another end of the optical bench, we place one lux meter. So the first in the first hand, we place the one lux meter, what we call the test lux meter, that is to be calibrated, and the power supply to the lamp is given from a very what we call the controlled voltage, constant voltage, constant frequency power supply, so that we can vary the supply voltage very accurately, right, with the first place of decimal, right. So what is the procedure we adopt here? Suppose we need to we calibrate a lux meter over the range of 0 to 100 lux, right? Because calibration is to be done over a range 0 to 100 lux. So here we place a lamp here. Lamp is supplied by a controlled voltage, and the photometer, the lux meter, is placed here, right? We can measure the distance between the position of the lamp from this point. We can get the value of position of the lux meter from this point. And the lux meter is mounted in such a way that the center of the filament and the center of the lux meter sensor. Which one is the lux meter sensor? Center, this center of the photocell. Okay, that had to be uh, in the same line, right? This we call the alignment. So center of the filament and center of the lux meter center are in the same horizontal line, and they are parallel to the optical bench. So under this condition, if I vary the supply voltage in such that we can have the lux meter value (100), then vary the supply voltage, reduce the supply voltage such that the lux meter value is again 90. Again reduce the supply voltage. So here is the supply voltage in volt, right? So lamp supply voltage, volt, test lux meter reading in lux, right? So here you get, adjust the voltage such that the value here is 100. Next, reduce the voltage such that the value here is 90. What I am doing here? What is the procedure? We connect the lamp with a regulated power supply so that I can adjust the voltage accurately, and I can keep the voltage at the same value until I get the reading here. So after placing the lamp here on the optical bench and at the same time test photometer that is to be calibrated, I start the experimentation. Okay, I adjust the supply voltage of the lamp such that the lux meter values here are 100, 90, V3, 80, like this, and ultimately we reach here at 10, and then we block the lux meter with a cover such that we block the lux meter here with a cover that such that no light can reach to the lux meter sensor, and under this condition the value is noted, right? We do not know what is the value. It may be 0, it may not be 0. So I'm not going to write the value here. Okay, I'm not going to write the value here, but I can make it 10 by adjusting the voltage. So in this run, what we have done here, by adjusting the supply voltage to the lamp at different values, I do not know the values, I make the lux meter reading from 100 to 10 at a 10 interval of 10. Okay. And then at the end, I cover the lux meter sensor by a black cover unit to block all the light incident over the sensor. And under this condition, there is no corresponding voltage value, so I can make it hyphen and we note the value here. It may be 0 or it may not be 0. It may be 0.1 or 0.2. It may be something different, right? So I'm not going to write the value here. Okay. So after completion of this experimentation, I replace the test lux meter here by the working standard lux meter. I replace the test lux meter here by the working standard lux meter, okay, without changing the position of the place. So at the beginning, we need to note down what is the position of the lamp. At the beginning, I need to note down what is the position of the sensor. Right? So without changing anything, I just replace the test lux meter by the working standard lux meter here. And then what is the task? Task is I adjust the voltage following this value obtained from the table, and we measure the working standard lux meter in lux. I do not know what is the value. Suppose the value is ES1 or VT, it is ES2, or V3, it is ES3. এটা যা কিছু একটা আসবে 1 2 3 4 and this should be 0 because this is the working standard lux meter. When it is blocked, then the value is 0. So after having this experimentation, we can calculate the error. So error is ET minus ES in lux. So this is error. So let us have a look to actual experimental data set that I have taken from last year student, right? So this is the top page, you know it. So this experimentation objective. So the lamp used here, the incandescent lamp, 100 watt 230 volt. Another lamp is 60 watt 230 volt. And lux meter is test lux meter and standard lux meter. This is the real number of the lux meter, and this is programmable power supply unit. Optical range 0 to 150 centimeter. So this that I have discussed just now, the observation position of the lamp here 15 centimeter, position of the lux meter, what is the distance between the two. So this is the round one, calibration of the lux meter. So see the typical value. When the supply voltage is 235.1, the test lux meter reads 100 lux, whereas the standard lux meter reads 106.8. So what is the error? ET minus ES. This is the error. So in the same way, for test lux meter value, to set the test lux meter value at 90 lux, the voltage is this 228.1. So in this the first run, we need to adjust the voltage to get the voltage such that the values are this. This is not correctly written. This is actually not correctly written, right? This should be nothing. This should be nothing. No voltage should be there because of the reason, even if the voltage is zero, even if the lamp is off, there may there is a chance that the light may enter over the sensor. May sufficient precaution is taken such that the value there is no light reaching to the sensor. It is not that voltage is zero. If here voltage zero means lamp is switched off. So after having this data, as I said, the test lux meter is replaced by the standard lux meter one, and these values are obtained corresponding. So what is this same test condition? Same test condition is the supply voltage. So for the same supply voltage, when test lux meter reads 100, the standard lux meter reads 106.8. Similarly, for the same supply voltage to the lamp, the standard lux meter reads 90. So sorry, working test lux meter reads 90. Working standard lux meter reads 96.1. So these are this table gives us the error. So this table is we call the calibration table for the lux meter. So any question up to this?
No, sir.
Then what is the next procedure? Next procedure is that after having the calibration table, so calibration table is what is the test lux meter reading and what is the error. This is actually our useful data, right? So this data is useful and this data is useful because now we need to plot the calibration chart. This is ET in lux, and this is error, and this is minus error, both in lux, right? So this is 0, this is 10, this is 20, this is 100. So for the values of test lux meter ranging from 0 to 100 lux, with this table, I can have the error. What is the error? And the errors are pointed by the dot, right? Suppose this is 30, the error is here, this is 40, the error is here, right? Error may be positive, error may be negative. So suppose here the error is here, for 0 error is here. So we have the error for the test lux meter at 0, at 10, at 20, at 30, 40, like 100. But in between, the error is unknown. So what is the practice? Practice is to draw a straight line between this point. Sorry. So the practice is to draw a straight line between this point, right? To draw a straight line. So this is calibration curve. So this calibration curve helps us what is the error in between the values of tabulated data. What is the error in between the values of tabulated data? And you see the all in between values, in between points are connected with the straight line. So to get the in between error corresponding to the in between values, the linear interpolation is taken. Okay, so this is the calibration chart. So why calibration graph or chart is necessary? Calibration chart is necessary to know what are the in-between error for corresponding to the in-between values of tabulated data. So here also calibration graph is plotted, right? So from this data, you see that all errors are in the negative side. So here is the lux meter reading, test lux meter reading, and the error is also in lux. So the all values are joined by a straight line. Okay. So up to this, we have completed the first phase of the experimentation, that is called the calibration of a lux meter. So up to this, we have discussed the calibration of a lux meter with the working standard. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
There are 57 students. So any questions
Yes, sir.
so far? Any question? No? No question. No question. I don't know how far you are getting. কিছু বোঝা যাচ্ছে যা বলছি?
Yes, sir.
দেখি একটু তোমাদের। আমি তো তোমাদের দেখতে পাবো না, তোমরা না হয় দেখো। কিছু বোঝা যাচ্ছে কি বলা হচ্ছে?
হ্যাঁ স্যার, হ্যাঁ স্যার,
Yes, sir.
হ্যাঁ স্যার।
কোনো প্রশ্ন নেই? কোনো প্রশ্ন নেই? প্রশ্ন না থাকলে কিছু বোঝা যাচ্ছে না। বুঝতে চেষ্টা করলেই কোশ্চেন আসে। প্রশ্ন নেই মানে তোমরা কিচ্ছু বুঝতে চেষ্টা করছো না। আই এম শিওর। Okay, I'm going to the next part. So what is the next part? Next part is to measure the horizontal luminous intensity distribution of a lamp by the calibrated lux meter. Now let us define first what is known as the intensity distribution, right? So let me erase this. So what is the intensity distribution? Luminous intensity, luminous intensity I, and it is mathematically defined as I equal to d phi by d omega. This is solid angle. So if there is a light source here, so if I want to know what is the luminous intensity in this direction, what I have to do, I need to consider or imagine a solid angle in this direction. If the solid angle is delta omega and the luminous flux content in the solid angle is del phi, then the intensity is along this direction is del phi by del omega. Because light is emitted in the three-dimensional space, so I have to consider the solid angle. We know that the SI unit of luminous flux is lumen, and for solid angle is steradian. So intensity, the SI unit of intensity, we call it, which is candela, small c into d, which is basically one candela is basically 1 lumen per steradian. Steradian, steradian, right? Radian for plane angle, steradian for solid angle. So intensity is basically directional quantity, directional distribution of light. Because if I consider this direction, the intensity very chance that intensity is different. So intensity is directional quantity. I is a directional quantity. Directional parameter. So if we have a filament lamp, right? If we have a filament lamp like this, so depending on the shape of the filament, and if we imagine a horizontal line passing through the filament, then the intensity distribution at the different directions are different. The second activity of the experimentation is how can we measure the intensity distribution of light over a horizontal plane by the calibrated lux meter. Okay, so I explain what is luminous intensity. I explain how the luminous intensity is expressed mathematically, and how it is luminous intensity is explained by the physical interpretation. Okay. Now, for the measurement of luminous intensity, we take help of one law, that is inverse square law. And according to the law, the intensity is proportional to the illuminance at a point is proportional to intensity, right? And actually the illuminance at a point is inversely proportional to the distance, right? And for normal incidence means if this is one surface and light incident perpendicularly over the surface. How can I know light incident perpendicularly over the surface? The orientation of any plane is defined by the orientation of the normal to the surface, right? The orientation of any plane is defined by the orientation is normal to the surface. Let the normal to the surface is expressed by n cap vector, normal, unit normal vector, you know it, unit normal vector. Then the direction of unit normal vector and the direction of light, if it is parallel, then we call the light incident normally, perpendicularly. So under this condition, the E is equal to intensity by distance square, right? So this law is valid for normal incidence, perpendicular incidence. Perpendicular incident of light. Perpendicular incident, right? So if I remove this from here, I can write E equal to I by d square or normal or perpendicular incidence of light. Why I need this? Because I have one lux meter. And with the lux meter, I can get the value of E. E is defined by del phi by del A, R for receiving area, right? So with the calibrated lux meter, I can get the value of E, and I can measure the value of D distance from the optical bench. So I is calculated with the help of this formula. Okay. So to get the value of, we cannot measure intensity directly, but we can measure the value of lux meter, value of illuminance with the help of lux meter. And I can get the value of distance between the position of the source and the sensor with the help of optical bench. So I can calculate the value of intensity. So if the angle is for theta, if the angle is represented by theta, so I theta is equal to E theta into d square. So this is the working formula for the second set of experimentation. This is the working formula for the second set of experimentation. I theta equal to E theta into D square, where E theta is in lux, distance is in meter. If this, then I theta is in candela. Huh? Candela. CD. Okay. So in this experimentation, I place the lamp here and I place the test flux meter here, which is calibrated now. For the test flux meter, I have the calibration chart, I have the calibration table, both. And I place the lamp is another lamp, and there is an attachment by which we can rotate the lamp with this vertical axis. So if I rotate the lamp with this vertical axis, right, with this vertical axis, if I imagine a vertical axis like this, right, and if I rotate the lamp with respect to the vertical axis, the intensity, the horizontal intensity distribution, which is received by the sensors, are different. So what is the task now? I supply the lamp at a fixed voltage, that is rated voltage. So from where I get the rated voltage, you see here. The second experimentation is done with the 60 watt 230 volt lamp. Here rated voltage is 230 volt. So I place the 60 watt lamp here and I supply the 230 volt AC from the programmable power supply and maintain is at fixed value. And I place here test flux meter, which is calibrated. I rotate the lamp from 0 to 360 degree, one by one, at an interval of certain value. What is the value? In the test data here, the angle, what is written here? Because D is important here to measure the horizontal intensity distribution of a lamp with the calibrated lux meter. The test lux meter, standard lux meter reference values are different. The D is 1 meter. Actually, it is there. They are not changed the D value, right? The position of the lamp is 15 centimeter. The position of the lux meter is 115 centimeters. So distance is 100 centimeter, means 1 meter. So what is the advantage of taking distance as 1 meter? Very simple. If it is 1, numerical value of D is 1, then I theta is actually the E theta. Whatever be the E theta value, numerically I theta values are same, but units are different. Okay. So here you can follow the table. You can follow the table. What are the entries? Angle in degree, 0 to 360 degree, of course. Measured value of illuminance with the test lux meter, EM. Error from the calibration chart in lux. So corrected value EC equal to C for corrected value, EC equal to EM minus error. Error is always to be subtracted from the measured value. So it is also in lux. So intensity equal to EC into D square. So instead of using EM, we actually using EC, which is the corrected value. And how correction is achieved? Correction is achieved with the help of calibration chart of the test lux meter. So you can note down the unit of the entry. Here is the intensity, the unit is candela. Here it is lux, EC, so it is lux. Here is illuminance, is lux. Here is also illuminance, it is in lux. So again, just note down that in this run 2, the lamp is to be supplied at a fixed value, at its rated value, which is 230 volt. So for different angular direction, the illuminance values are different, and accordingly the error are to be taken from the chart. So these 2 columns are to be taken at laboratory, and rest of the task is to be done outside the laboratory. So these 2 columns are the measured values. The first one is the degree, the second one is the illuminance value. Okay. So after getting the values of the intensity values. So what is the task? Here is one example is shown. I can share this with you. What is the task? Task is to plot the intensity values in a polar diagram, right? So this is the form of the polar diagram. You see, this is the form of the polar diagram. Because in the polar diagram, you see this is r theta coordinate system. In the polar diagram, I have the two set of data. I have the two set of data. One is theta in degree and other is I theta in candela. I have two set of data actually. Here, see, I have two set of data. This angle, and the intensity. Okay. So with these two set of data, here it is 0, 10, 20, up to 350 degree, right? So here I0, I10, like this, I350. Now we can plot it. So this is the tabulated data. We can plot it in polar diagram. So in the polar diagram, this is the angular direction, right? So in this right hand side is taken as 0, and it is in the increasing direction, anti-clockwise, right? So it is 0, it is 10, it is 90, 180, 270, like this. And the lamp is situated at the center of the polar diagram. So the radial distance is taken as the proportional to the intensity. The more intensity value means more radial distance is to be taken. I repeat, radial distance is proportional to the intensity. More intensity value means more radial distance is to be taken, right? Here you see for the 0, the intensity is higher in compared to the for 90 degree. For 90 degree, the intensity is here. This value corresponds to 40 candela, very close to the very close to the 45 candela, because this line is for 40 candela, this line is for 50 candela, so it is in between is 45 candela, so it is just below the 45 candela. So we can assume that in the 90 degree direction, the intensity of the lamp is very close to the 45 candela, whereas for the 0 direction, the intensity of light is very close to 65 candela, because this line is 60, this line is 70, so this point is in between 65 candela. So in this way, the dots are taken corresponding to the data points, right? Dots are taken corresponding to the data points, and finally all dots are joined by a smooth curve, and this smooth curve is the intensity distribution, graphical presentation of the intensity distribution of light of the lamp in the horizontal plane. Graphical presentation of the intensity distribution of lamp on the horizontal plane. Okay. So with this observation, what is the observation you can have out of this graphical presentation? Is it for the 0 and 180, the intensity value is relatively higher than the 90 and 270 direction. Right. Okay. And another observation, the first observation is that the intensity is not constant for all direction. The intensity is not same for all direction. Intensity are different for different direction. But primarily, the intensity for the orthogonal directions are different. Maximum difference is observed for the intensity in the orthogonal direction. Orthogonal means which are separated by two planes which are separated by 90 degrees. So in this experimentation, we learned how to calibrate a lux meter with the help of working standard lux meter, and then how to measure the horizontal luminous intensity distribution of a lamp with the calibrated lux meter. Any question? Any question?
স্যার এই চার্ট
স্যার
থেকে
বলছি
এরারটা কি করে বের করলেন ওটা একবার দেখাবেন?
Yes. Say for example 40, measured value 40, okay? From the calibration chart, we know what is the error for 40. So for 40, it is not required to consult this graph. Okay. For 40, we can just go here to get the value of the error. But for 42.9, we need to consult this. So 40, error is this point, 42.9, you can get the value, you can have the value 42.9 is 43, and you draw a perpendicular over this graph to get the value. Or you can calculate it mathematically here. So 40 lies between, 42.9 lies between 40 and 50. So for ET1 is for 40, the corresponding error is E1. ET2 is 50, corresponding error to E2. Then what is the error? When the lux meter value is 42.9. So that lux meter value is ET. So you can calculate it mathematically, or you can get the value directly from the graph. Actually, it is not calculation, it is from the graph, those values are to be taken, obtained. বুঝা গেছে?
ইয়েস স্যার।
ইয়েস
আর কারোর কোনো প্রশ্ন?
স্যার
স্যার রান ওয়ানের লাস্ট রিডিংটা স্যার কিভাবে নিয়েছিলেন বলবেন?
রান ওয়ানের
লাস্ট রিডিংটা যেটা স্যার বললেন ব্লক করে, মানে ওই জায়গাটা লাইটটা ব্লক।
ও ব্লক করে মানে হচ্ছে এই যে লাক্স মিটারের সেন্সরের উপরে একটা এর কভার আছে, এই কভারটা দিয়ে দেওয়া। এই কভারটা দেওয়া মানে তুমি 100% you can ensure that you can block all the stray light reaching to the sensor.
ওকে স্যার, আন্ডারস্ট্যান্ড।
Okay, any question?
স্যার লাক্সটা why isn't it constant around the কি বলে the
Lamp.
sensor মানে lamp why isn't
Lamp.
মানে
Why it is not constant? Yes, this is due to the shape of the filament. This is due to the shape of the filament. When the sensor is placed in this direction, light is going to this direction, right? And when we place the sensor here, light is, so when we place the sensor here, sensor actually sees this portion of the filament, light emitting surface. When we place the sensor here, sensor is seeing this portion of light emitting surface. So both are different. So it is due to the shape of the filament. But you see, the 180 degree, the angular variation 180 degree, the shape is more or less same. So intensity values, we can expect the same value. So actually for this direction, the intensity value is higher than for this direction.
okay sir.
And instead of this filament lamp, if I consider one fluorescent lamp, one portion of the fluorescent lamp, we can expect the constant illuminance value around this horizontal distribution. Because for it is a tube, just tube, fluorescent tube lamp, a single tube. So intensity for the direction, angular direction surrounding this lamp is constant. So for different direction, illuminance will be constant, practically constant. It is not theoretically constant, practically constant. So under this condition, the polar diagram should be a circle.
Okay, sir. Understand.
Any question? So what I'm going to do that, I am sharing this data sheet to you, right? I am going to share this data sheet to you. So this page, right? This page, not this page, okay? Only these two. First
Okay, sir.
column and second column. And you need to complete all this. So you need to draw this graph, calibration chart. You need to complete this. I'm going to give you this first 3 column. So, sorry, first 4 column, serial number, supply voltage, ETES. You need to calculate this error. Then you need to draw this graph. Then I'm going to share these 2 columns. You need to complete this entire value and plot this intensity distribution. Okay? And remarks. Okay? And I'm going to give you all the necessary instruction, what you have to be done. You need to submit a report to me.
Sir,
And
deadline.
ডেডলাইন আমি বলে দিচ্ছি, তোমাদের ল্যাবগুলো কবে শেষ হচ্ছে তারপরে আমি ডেডলাইন দিচ্ছি। আমার কাছে চার্ট আছে কবে ডেডলাইন, মানে তোমাদের সমস্ত ল্যাব শেষ হচ্ছে আমি তারপরে দিচ্ছি, নট উইদিন ফার্স্ট উইক।
Okay, sir.
But you need to submit a report to me only, directly to me. I will mention my mail ID. And based on the lab report, I will give you the marks. তোমাদের কতজন আছে ক্লাসে? 66 তোমরা বললে। এখন অ্যাটেন্ডেন্স আমি দেখছি 61, মানে আমাকে নিয়ে 61, কিন্তু আমি তো প্রেজেন্টেশন স্টপ করলে 60 অ্যাকচুয়ালি। So 59 তোমাদের মধ্যে এসছে। So 7 রিমেন্স অ্যাবসেন্ট। তোমরা যেটা করো সেটা হচ্ছে চ্যাট বক্সে রোল নাম্বারটা লিখে ফেলো।